It's a 2021 Ram 2500 6.4. Came out, fired it up, got 175,000 miles on it. Oh, it is warmed up. Customer states no heat out of one side of the dash. So I kind of wanted to verify that before we did anything. Oh, okay. Oh, it's very hot. It's very cold. Okay, interesting. So hot on the passenger side, cold here. I brought one of these apparatuses so you can see the difference. It's quite different. Get this untangled here. Stick that in there. Stick this up here. Get our probe to let that steady out and see what we have on the passenger side versus the driver's side. Just holding her about 2,000 RPMs. Got a little better heat out of here. That's still coming up, but she's about the $120 and climbing. This side's definitely cooler. I guess we don't need to get too carried away with that. Stick that in here, and we can watch her drop. She's dropping quick, boys. So yeah, I mean, that tells me a plugged heater core. I mean, we can switch it from hot to cold. I'm sure we'll feel a change. Should be only a single blend door in this. Or I think it's a single actuator split door. I don't know. I think they're kind of funny business, but yeah, so we're around 87 and dropping. Yeah, so I can feel it cooling off now that I've just kind of got it back to an idle. So yeah, big difference there, 82. Yeah, so I can feel it cooling off. Road. Yeah, so I think this side's in the 130s probably at an idle. It's climbing back up there. This side's cold. We'll go for a little rip, see what the verdict is here. Maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to flush the heater core. These Dodges can be tricky. I think they have really tiny passages in their heater core. Usually flush very well. So yeah, this side's 130 something, 135 we'll say. So that side's climbing about like normal, 145, still climbing. I imagine it'll steady out in the 160s would be my assumption. I don't know why we need all this data. Probably because I got to run down and see my brother, so I decided to drive this. Then we'll bring it back, let it cool off, and see if we can flush the heater core, at least get it set up on that recirculation loop that we have, if our pump still works. Run some CLR through it. But yeah, we can see 115 and falling. So probably about a 50-degree difference by the time this thing steadies out, by the time that side hit full capacity. Yeah, 'cause we're down to 110 and falling. I don't know if you'll be able to see. We'll get down here. So this side steadied out pretty well, around bounces between 106 and 110 when you're driving. So that's where that side steadied out. I gotta go see my brother. I'll be right back. We'll get the rest of our data, see what the temperature split is, and then we'll know something. 169er, even. So that's where that one settled out. So 170 and then whatever we had here, I don't remember. I'm good like that. Was it around 110? Yeah, it's dropping down to 110. Okay. So about a 60-degree difference side to side. That's the final answer. 50 to 60, something like that. So what we'll do is we'll head back to the shop. Let this cool down while I order some parts and do some estimates, and then now that we have our data, verified customer complaint, we'll try to give it a little flush before we pull the dash out of it, because that's a whole lot easier. Well, we're up the creek. Circulation pump is small. I popped it apart. There's no saving it. I have to spend another 50 bucks on the Amazon. No. Well, this this whole holder here that holds the heater hoses appears to be broken. I'm going to take and unhook both these heater hoses. See if we can't just wiggle the clamps up. I don't know if this is really good for recording here. Let me see if I can't move you folks. There, that's the best I've got for you. Try to get the light out of the way. Hopefully you can see. If not, just pretend there's a guy working on a very salt-covered engine that's still probably way too hot to work on. And he's unhooking some heater core hoses. Letting off the remaining pressure. He didn't open the overflow jug. But he's going to let that aid in removing the hoses. Free tip for you. This truck has had the coolant replaced, I think, twice in its lifetime. So that's good. I've seen the service record using the Mopar 10-year coolant. There we go, that'll help us. There. Now we'll crack the pressure loose off the system. That'll help keep the coolant in the block there when we pull these hoses off. Then we'll just cap it off if we're able to. That one's wiggled to the top. Yeah, she's gonna be a squirter. We'll get a couple of caps there. Try to lose the minimum amount if we're able. Wiggle that one right to the end. Oh, she's a squirter. Let's grab some caps. What's up, Mrs. O? You need me? Those are removed. I kept them off down there if you can. You can't see it. I don't know what you guys can see because I can't see you. So what we're gonna do now, blast a little air. Let's see. Oh, let me see about getting them out of this rear retainer here so we can get our hoses up high enough, because we don't have our circulation pump. We're gonna just have to let her soak. That'll get you in trouble. Hopefully it doesn't. Come on, baby. They're unclipped back here. There we are. That one's out. That one's out. And what we need to do, now that we have them blown out, is we need to get them up above the height of the heater core. You know what I mean? And they go in way up high. We'll stick that one there. And we'll get something to hold. Let me just make sure we're up above. Yeah, we're up above the height. This is the upper hose. This is the lower hose. Let's get something to hold that there. Get one of our gear ties. I mentioned these little guys in one of my previous videos that I've had some of these things for lots of years, and Mrs. O picked them up for me at the Walmart years ago, and then one of our viewers sent me some extras. They found some. I don't think they're probably that difficult of an item to find. It's just they last a really long time. I use these suckers for everything around the shop. Let's start dumping some CLR in there. We'll dump it in there until it spits out the other hose. Whoa, doesn't pour real well with that on there, does it? Now let me go get a funnel, that way we can overflow it until it comes out the other hose. Hey, now we're PPing. Whoops, we're CLR and everything. That's right, we'll hose it off. Looks like she could use a good hosing anyway. Come on, baby. We'll make sure we push any coolant out. Alright, the heater core is full. I'm going to let that soak for an hour or so. And then we'll come blast it out using our hose blaster. This is what we're using, CLR Pro. Radiator flush and cleaner. Works great on a recirculation pump. I learned that trick from working on Hondas. They used to have the issue. And they had a Bolton on it. Using this exact method, it works, well, 60% of the time, every time. There's that. Just wanted to rinse that off. There's always that one chemist in the comment section. Okay, where did we leave off? It's been a while. You've been soaking good. Can you guys see? Probably. Well, let's do this. Oops. Let's take and unhook our hoses here. And then we're gonna get extreme. Let's get this one down out of our way. Okie dokie. Let's just kind of wire tie this to that. Keep her from getting splashback. Because it's gonna get extreme. We're gonna blast her out here just air pressure. Oh, that's fun. It's kind of foamy. Alright, now we're gonna get some water. Great, Mrs. O left. Now we gotta go in the office. Stand by. Never mind, it was Mrs. O coming back because she saw a vendor show up. So she came to the rescue, she said. So we didn't have to go in there. That was nice of her. Alright, we're gonna untie this one. And then we're gonna tie up this one. Good enough. Okay, here we go. Extreme. Should flow it out good. If you agitate it like that, it seems to work pretty good. go back the other way one more time for good measure, and then that's it. That's about as much time as I put into these Dodges, because the success rate on these is pretty low, and I believe it's, you know, due to the heater core design. I could be wrong on pretty much everything, but I'm on the internet. It has to be true. There's that. Yeehaw. Okay. Let's just go ahead and hook these bad boys back up. I'm going to get them fished back down in that holder under here. And then get them hooked back up approximately where they belong. Hopefully we can get them fished back in there. There's that one. There's that one. There, got the holder clicked back. Wow. That one's hooked back up. That one's hooked back up. I'm gonna have to see if he wants to buy a new holder, because like I say, they're just kind of hanging loose. Hang loose, man. Yeah, it looks like it had possibly 3 little retainers. Wonder how that would have gotten broke, just rando. Oh, who knows? I know this truck has smacked a few deer. It's been in the body shop. So perhaps one of those times something happened. Who knows? Whoa. Oh, now I can't see anything. How convenient. How convenient for me. Get this down. You gotta line the clamp up too. Perfectly where it was. Especially if you don't know the status, if he shows the truck or not. A lot of you guys know that. It's a deal breaker at the car show. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. What's up? There we go. Oh, too far, fella. You took it too far. I often do. All right, well, we're gonna leave this just kind of hanging around no man's land for right now. It's just supported on rubber hoses. There's really not much we could do. Nothing really to zip tie to down there, is there? I don't know if them holes go all the way through. Oh, they do. We can give it a little zip tie action. Come on, get a couple clicks, dude. Oh, there we go. Whew, barely. Push that into the toolbox. Oops, didn't mean to cut that off. Oh, what do you want me to do? Chop it off? Come on. I don't think it was in all the way anyhow. It wasn't. Oh, there we go. Hello. Nice to meet you. There we are. Oh, all right, that'll kind of hold it semi-stationary, somewhat where it needs to be. 100% gonna see that at the car show. Oh, crap. Now, I tried cutting the zip tie so it doesn't cut the next guy. There we go, close enough. All right, we'll start it up. It should self-bleed, no sweat. We'll top her off with some coolant. And then we'll take another rip and see if we have better heat action out of both sides. If we don't, we just quote the customer on a heater core, and then we move on with our life. I don't want I cleaned up. Gotta wait for Mrs. O to get back. All right, she's at 215. See where we're at on the driver's side. Ooh, it's hot in here. 170 on the driver's side. What were we? 110 at an idle before? Oh, did he have the recirculation button on before? Turn that off. All right, as soon as Mrs. O gets back here, we'll take her for a little rip. Yeah, 170 at an idle out of the dash. Not bad at all, boys. Not bad at all. Oh, made it back. What is that? Oh, I thought it still had the protective film on. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is the silliest thing, freaking knob. All right, let's see what we end up with, boys. It's hot, I know that. The truck temperature is pretty well steadied out here. And this is also pretty well steadied out. It looks like we're holding around 160. You know, pulled up to the stop sign there, it was like 150 something. Yeah. So left side vent about 162, 160 we'll call it. I'll swap to the other side. Now I expect to see some difference. You know, it's just like standing next to the wood stove. You know, if you're standing next to it, come on, man, you can't get it. I'm trying to drive, gotta go around the corner here. You know, if you're standing right next to the wood stove, you're gonna be warmer than the guy standing down the hallway. What the world? There I come. 47 years old, 3 kids, you'd think I'd be able to figure that part out. So as we get closer to the heater core, I think we're gonna see some temperature difference, but we shouldn't see a 60-degree difference side to side. But heater core's over there, and as it, you know, comes across through the ductwork, I would expect to see some drop. How much? I don't know. I better pull over here before we get hurt. So yeah, 180 on the passenger side. Oh, probe's falling out a little bit, but that's about where it was steadying out. It was around in the 180 mark. And then 160 something out of here, so I don't know, less than 20 degrees difference, I guess. But that's to be expected, as I mentioned. So we'll see where that ends up. Where is that? It's at 167. So 168. I don't know. They're so dang close. It doesn't matter. It's too freaking hot. I know that. So we're gonna call this one confirmed. It's just like Mythbusters, confirmed. Except we don't have carry. Turn this thing off. Whew! I'll drive back with the window down. It's hot. So that worked. That one was successful. And I made a little tool of the day in the middle of it. So if you've seen that, know that when I made that video, I didn't know if it was a success, but clearly it was. I have found that the CLR in a heater core works. And clearly it works just letting her soak and not even on a circulation pump. And if you think about it, I think that's how Vanessa uses that stuff at home. You know, your shower heads get a little cruddy, or, you know, the little sprayer on the kitchen sink. I think she puts a Ziploc bag around it and glugs some in there. A rubber band comes back in a few hours, takes it off, and everything works. Miracle stuff. You know, use at your own risk, I guess, like I say. You have to check with the chemist in the comments to find out if it's a good thing or not, but I assumed it is because, well, Honda says it is. And it's good enough for Honda, it's good enough for a Dodge. And we saved this guy, I don't know, $1,000 some. I think the book time on the heater core on these is around 9 hours, 7 to 9 hours, somewhere's in there. Plus the heater core itself. I've done lots of them. These are relatively easy to do. You can easily do it within the time allowed. And Dodge does a really nice job on pulling out their dashes. I really enjoy pulling the interior out of a Chrysler. I don't like much else about them, but I do like pulling their interiors. Dash comes out one big modular unit. It's fantastic. Pop the seats out, push the seats back a little bit, take the steering column out, and then a few big connectors, and the whole dash comes right out the side. Easy peasy. And then take the heater box out, slap a heater core in it, put her back in. Robert's your mother's brother. But before you do that, at the first signs of heat loss, I think if you get ahead of it and can let the CLR get in there and get into those little fine fins on the heater core, you stand a chance at breaking it loose. The ones I've had no success with are when people show up with like the Dodge Avengers, the Dodge pickups, the Caravans, when they have nothing. Passenger side has a little bit of heat and there is nothing on the driver's side. It's too late at that point, generally speaking, at least using that method and the amount of time that I want to invest in it, which is, you know, an hour or less. Because I've done some in the past where I've spent way too much time trying to flush them and, you know, mixed results, leaning more towards the failure side. So I skip that, give them one shot, and then we give them a quote. We move on. So why don't you guys move on into that comment section. When you're down there, you're done leaving your comment, go over on the Insta, find us there. Find us on the Facebook. We're over there as well. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.